Well, it's actually a relief not to be speaking today, so thank you, Sarah. I've been extremely lucky to be a part of this amazing group of women that come together every year and stand not only for my son, but the other children and adults you see at your tables. I do this, I guess, I don't even think about doing this. This is just part of my life, as I'm sure Sarah feels the same way. But just talking for the 15 minutes we've had, Sarah has taught me so much about what it means to just wake up and be thankful for the day. I mean, talking to her, learning about her, she has given me the strength and courage to do this for Ryder forever. She's an amazing woman. She's from Syracuse, came out here. She's 25, which is crazy because you think, not according to your looks, but you think she's much older than she is because she's just this amazing person. And just talking to her, hearing what her parents did for her, inspire me to do those same things for Ryder, and to give my son the courage and really push him to be brave and to be independent, which is exactly what Sarah is. So I just want to invite her up here, and she will do an amazing job. And yeah. But please welcome her.
Thank you. And thank you all for having me here. So I'm just going to tell you my story. So I was raised to be a strong, independent woman. Living with a chronic illness was never an excuse to act entitled, to expect special treatment, or to be dependent on others for anything that I could do for myself. However, a solid support system is invaluable when living with a chronic illness. And I believe my parents did an excellent job providing the perfect balance of support and independence. In addition to my parents, the cystic fibrosis community is an immense support. I have made incredible friends through the CF community, and these individuals never cease to amaze me, especially the women. These are women who believe in the future and embark on marriage and careers, who meet the challenges of raising a family and that boldly speak out to raise awareness, all while living with a chronic illness. It is easy to focus on our own individual struggles, but we're stronger if we come together. I hope that I can inspire some of you to come together like I have with my CF sisters to surmount our illness and be a part of something bigger than ourselves, something that needs to be tackled together rather than alone. From a young age, I was encouraged to reach for my goals, even if they seemed impossible. Many times, the impossible can be a reality when you have a chronic illness. The things that you want to accomplish often seem out of reach when you're in a daily battle to stay healthy enough to pursue those goals. However, we all have obstacles, whether they're physical, emotional, or psychological. It is what you can accomplish despite what you have that's important. For those who don't know what cystic fibrosis is, it's a genetic disorder that mostly affects the lungs and the digestive system. A defective gene causes a thick, sticky mucus to build up in the lungs, pancreas, liver, kidneys, and other organs. The mucus in the lungs clogs the airways and traps bacteria, leading to infections, chronic coughing, extensive lung damage and scarring, and eventually respiratory failure. In the end-stage CF, like I'm in, the simple task of breathing feels like breathing through a straw. And I have made straws, they're all on your tables. And if you want to test out what it feels like to breathe, like I do, they're there. My life growing up was a bit different than Ryder's. Kalydeco and Corcambi have changed the lives of patients like Ryder, but there are many of us who have different and rare CF mutations who don't have the same drugs available. Without these meds when I was younger, I was told I probably wouldn't live past 10 years old. Luckily, as I grew up, more and more treatments were developed to help me live past 10 years, past 20 years, and hopefully live past 30 years. When I was asked to share my story, I had a hard time coming up with something to say. Not because I haven't talked about CF thousands of times, but because I don't think of my story as any less or any more than anyone else's. I have found that when you take the time to learn someone's story, ooh, sorry. Sorry about that. When you learn someone's story, you find that everyone has something. So here's my something. I take 20 pills a day, do 5 breathing treatments, which entails breathing medication in for about an hour for each treatment. I go to physical therapy 3 times a week. I do 4 different inhalers. I've been stuck with thousands of needles. I have had PICC lines threaded through my veins over 10 times. I have a port placed in my chest. And I cough at least 100 times a day. I check in with my doctors every 3 months. And now, I can't climb stairs, I can't run, and I can't do any physical activity without coughing. So my story, my something, has come along with struggles. But like everyone, with our challenges, we have small triumphs. I attended my first choice college. However, I didn't know that meant being reprimanded in class after my IV went off because my professor thought it was my cell phone. I went to many proms, but little did I know that it would lead to the cops showing up thinking I had illegal drugs in my purse. There were boys in high school that wanted to date me, but their mothers didn't think I was a good choice because I would just die anyways. I landed a great job in my field out of college and was living on my own in a cute apartment, but ended up being so sick that I needed a handicap pass to walk from my car. Who knew that would cause me to get dirty, accusing looks and a nasty note? So what did I do with those challenges and that negative energy? I let it empower me and give me the strength to raise awareness. I took that letter that was left on my car and wrote an article about CF, which was published in the local newspaper. I told that mother that everyone was going to die eventually and that we never really know when it is our time. I explained to the prom police that those pills were needed for my digestion and proceeded to educate him about CF. When everyone left that college class, I apologized to my professor for the interruption and explained the occlusion in my IV pump that I needed for CF. He then asked me to speak to the class about CF when we hit that topic in our books. Despite a few of those examples, I've excelled in life. I graduated a BA in psychology and sociology from Providence College and took a research job working with patients with PTSD and depression. I loved helping patients, but 2 years in, I needed to help myself. My CF was getting worse, so I started the transplant process. I flew back and forth out here for several months, having copious tests until I was finally accepted for a transplant in May. I then quit my job. Thanks. I then quit my job, broke my lease, gave my dog to my parents, which was the hardest thing, and said goodbye to my family and friends to move across the country. Since then, I've been waiting for that life-saving call while still trying to live my life. I now have a job doing brainwave tests on patients at a local hospital. I have been studying to retake the GRE and have been writing a book describing my experiences living with a chronic illness. I'm going to apply for my PhD in the fall and hopefully attend graduate school in the spring. I have thought about waiting to push towards these goals until I had new lungs, but I have learned that life is short and precious. Do what you can when you can. I could not have accomplished all this without the help of the CF community. They have made extreme advances in technology, research, and medication to help people like Ryder and me. The establishment of Compass has helped me manage all that goes into CF. The medications have helped me to live a longer and healthier life. And the focus in transplant research has given me the opportunity to continue my life with shiny new lungs. However, these advancements are not cheap. With your help We hope to raise money for future research and treatments so that all of us, like Ryder and me, can live longer, fulfilling lives. CF has given me appreciation for every single day, every single breath, and every single moment. I have learned to be grateful for everything that happens in my life. Sometimes illnesses, challenges, and ignorance can immobilize us. But if we react to those bumps in the road with collaboration, humor, courage, and perseverance, we can come out on the other end stronger and more benevolent. Thank you for this opportunity to share my something.
So if you get a new set of lungs, you said that CF attacks all your other organs as well. Will it then eventually attack your new lung?
Right, so it's genetic. So even getting new lungs, you're still gonna have CF. And you still will have all the other digestive problems, there's still kidney problems, liver problems, sinus problems. But I mean, you just have to start over with a brand new lung function of 100%. So you got to pick your battles, I guess, you know? Yeah.
Any of the new drugs for the mutation that you have?
Yes, so Orkambi is. I have the Delta 508 mutation, which is probably one of the most common ones, right? And yeah, Orkambi, but since my lung function is so low, it doesn't really do anything for me anymore. So I did try it, but not a lot of hope.
Other questions? Yeah.
Okay, beautiful lady.
Thank you.
How awesome that you see life the way you do, and that you rose above the challenges as a person.
Thank you.
What do you think in your life? Is it just inside of you, or did something external to you help you with that attitude and who you are as a person?
Well, I think I got to give it to my parents. They can't be here to hear that, but they really did do a great job of raising me to just be independent and just so grateful for every day. They were like, you know, this is just something you have. Everyone has something, like I said in my speech, and you're going to live with it, and, you know, you're going to just have to deal with the challenges that come along with it, and it doesn't make you any less of a person. It just makes you different, I guess. So. And then, I don't know, it's just my spirit, I guess, went from there.
Thank you. How old were you when you realized that you had CF and what CF was?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I was diagnosed when I was 4 weeks old, I believe.
4.
Yeah. But I didn't really, I had a normal childhood. I had 100% lung function until I was about 16. So I never felt like I had CF. Like, it was just like there. And I still ran, I still played, I still hung out with kids, I had sleepovers, I played sports. I don't think I really felt like I had CF until high school. And I had a rough high school experience, so girls are mean.
True.
So probably high school, yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the things that we need in our schools is an education. I mean, to me, because you are beautiful and you don't look sick, it's even harder.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that just in general, what you don't know, you're afraid of, and so the mean girls are mean.
Yeah.
So I think
So true.
that's something that CF Foundation should probably work at, and it would benefit everybody to treat people better.
Right.
But
I totally agree.
why? I'm really involved in CF, but I learn something every year. Why? What happened when you were 16 that changed, that you were able to keep off all these, the scarring of your lungs and whatever? What happened?
I was a rebellious teenager, and I didn't want to do my breathing treatments, and I wanted to be a normal kid, and I didn't want to take my enzymes, and I just wanted to be like everyone else, and I kind of rebelled. And my mom was like, you know what? All right, if you don't want to do it, then there you go. And I got sick, and then I was like, okay, you were right. So moms know best, right? So yeah, and then it's just downhill from there. You know, it's a progressive disease, so once you start declining in lung function, it's kind of hard to stop it. So, yeah.
You know, speaking about being a rebellious teenager, and I can understand that. I mean, I think everybody goes through that, boys, girls. Is there a mentoring program, like an older CF, you know, girl that maybe could have helped you, you know, when you got to that point in your life?
That's a good idea.
I can answer that question. I just came back from a national trustees board meeting, and there is a mentoring program. They're matching people now, and they realize that this would really be a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah, that's great.
Just to add one other thing too, to lung transplants, the other thing that we're finding is that the allocation of lungs is now going more in the favor of someone with a disease than how long you've been on the list. So that's good for us, and they say that cystic fibrosis patients are the most successful lung transplants that there
Yeah,
are.
we do the best.
The other thing is that they're looking, they've done a pilot program in Nevada on social media. What else? You know, that's what everybody does these days. Encouraging people to sign up to be an organ transplant donor. And it's gone up 30% since they tried it. So
That's
that
awesome.
gives us more money to deal with.
Awesome. I love
So
that.
things are happening.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
How has life expectancy changed since you were first diagnosed at 4 weeks?
Right.
With the advancements that they've made to now, how has that changed?
It's changed immensely. I mean, my parents were first told that I probably wouldn't live past 5 years old, that I wouldn't live past 10, and then maybe I'd make it to my 20s. And now people are making it into their 40s. It's just average lifespan is 40. And even people are getting into their 60s. Jerry Cahill, who's famous right now, he in the CF community, he's up there. He's like 60 something, I think.
Hey, be careful.
Yeah.
Up there for CF. Because it was never even heard of 20 years ago. People weren't even making it past 18. So, and now more than half of us are over 18, so it's extremely exciting.
So following up on the positivity of your spirit, do you ever feel angry at the cards you've been dealt, and how do you sort through that to move forward?
Right. I never really felt, I'm going to be honest, I never really felt angry. There are definitely bad days. You know, you get out of the hospital or you're put in the hospital and you're hooked up to everything and you're lonely, you know. It's a chronic illness. People stop coming to see you, you know. Bouquets of flowers are getting expensive after like the 15th time you're in the hospital. So that's hard. It's lonely sometimes. I think I feel lonely and isolated a little bit more, especially because as CFers, we can't meet each other because of spread of infection. So that you can't meet in a group setting and talk about this and vent. You know, it's all online, and so it's definitely.
Why you can't meet in a group?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
think people
So
understand.
we carry and harbor infections in our lungs that can be spread to other CFers through communication through air. So we are not allowed to meet each other, which makes it hard. So it's a little isolating, but I think, again, I just think, you know, I'm lucky. It could be so much worse. So, you know, you listen to music loud, you bash your pillow, and then you move on.
Sarah, did you partake in BreatheCon that happened about 2 months ago?
No.
It's a foundation, and it's our adult advisory committee that has put together, it's like if you were going to a conference, but they're calling it a day at the beach, with these different areas that everybody can tune into on a computer and have chats and conversations and things like that. They had a beach area, they had a cabana, you know, and it's, I'm not on the social media, so I don't really understand it all that much, but for them, it was incredible. I think about 280 people partook.
Wow.
And they said they have conversations they've never had before.
I love that.
One guy went online and said it was the best thing that's happened in his life.
Love that.
So we're working on those things too. So
Awesome.
that will happen.
Awesome.
Well, I want to thank Sarah
Thank
again.
you.
And Sarah,
Thank you.
Sarah and I had a chance to talk a little bit when she first arrived, and I want you all to know that she is #1 on the transplant list at UCLA. At UCLA. Yeah. My UCLA.
Yes,
They're sitting back
the
there.
UCLA table. You guys are going to give me new organs.
And I told her that she will go to the top of our prayer list.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.